Okay, so right now, as I mentioned before in my other videos, I am on the wards, internal medicine rotation. I'm in internal medicine, that's my specialty, but the rotation that I'm on right now is actually inpatient internal medicine. So I'm always in the hospital. It's been 3 weeks so far, and I really just wanted to come on here to just talk about the power of resilience, of consistency, and really just to give a short testimony. And if there's anyone who's in residency, who's a 3rd or 4th year medical student who doesn't have an idea of how to flow or how to work well within the system, I will also give some pointers. Anyways, generally it's been a struggle being consistent with the things that I used to do before residency. That includes having a regular quiet time, being more serious with my walk with God, catching up with family and friends, just even YouTube and doing the things that I used to enjoy or that I do still enjoy, but I just don't have enough time for. It's tough, But so the event that I went to a few weeks ago, I was so astonished at the capacity of the woman who actually planned everything. She was the pastor's wife, and she is also a doctor, a physician. She's an attending right now, but she planned the entire event. She decorated the place. She created the dance, the choreography for the dance that they performed during that event. And there were just so many things that she was just in charge of. And then she helps to also head the church and to also head a group of women who are seeking Christ. And when I just looked at her life, I was like, there's really no excuse. There's no excuse for me not to pursue God and to push forward for his agenda while I'm in residency. So she was just very inspiring, right? And I feel like I was truly sent to that. I was truly encouraged to go to that Women's Day, and there was a reason why I was there. I think it was really just to be connected with the ministry. And so now let's go a few days or even weeks past. I started this rotation, and every time I start a new rotation, I always have this anxiety, like, I don't know what to expect. I've never been here before. Like, it's tough trying to handle the system and trying to, organize yourself and find a way that works for you. The first couple of days of this rotation, I'm not going to lie, I was a mess. I didn't know what I was doing. I had so many patients on my list that I didn't really understand what was going on for each one of them. If you asked me a question, I was just saying, I don't know. It was a mess in terms of what was even going on in terms of their diagnosis. I had no idea. And I was just always anxious. Even in terms of presenting my patients, it was horrible. I had no flow. My workflow in the morning was a mess. But I had a great senior who actually, so I think it all happened at the same time, which is why I just wanted to give this testimony. There was just one day that I decided, so after that Women's Day, I kept in touch with a few of the women who were there as well, and including the pastor's wife and the pastor herself. Actually, I don't think she's a pastor, but she's a pastor's wife. But she is she is of her own species, or I don't know what to call it, but she is her own person and she has her own ministry. And I kept in touch with them, and they have this Bible study basically every week, and anyone who wants to be a part of it, especially if they do personal Bible studies basically. So I have really been struggling with having my quiet time every single day. Like, I have struggled for a while, and it's sad because I remember when there was a time when I would always have my quiet time unfailingly. I would wake up early in the morning and pray, and it was such a peaceful and interesting time in my life because I was really able to dwell into the Word of God. And then years have passed, and I don't think I've gotten back to that way that I used to be honest. So this opportunity to have a personal Bible study with someone who is holding me accountable was great, because since then I've been praying with her every day at 4:30 in the morning. And from that day on, where I decided I was gonna put God first, make sure that I wake up early and read the Word and pray, is when all this, the anxiety and the anxiousness that I was getting before going to work just dissipated on its own. Like, I can't even explain how, but it just dissipated on its own. I'm also going to add that that same day, and I think, or it was the day after, my senior literally gave me a work, like she came early with me. She came because I spoke to her and I told her how I was worried about my workflow and how I felt like it wasn't working. So she came the next day, the same time. Mind you, seniors don't really come until like 7:30. Meanwhile, the interns have to come at 6 o'clock to make sure that they see everyone and already know what's going on. So so she came at 6, and then she basically just said, you know, whatever system you're using, just shut it down, forget it. Like, forget it, it's trash. And I agreed, it's trash, it was trash. What can I say, it was trash. And so she showed me the way that she, you know, basically sees her patients and how she gets everything done before rounds. And since then I've been using that method, and I've been praying every single morning, and like clockwork, I am much more efficient. We thank God. We thank God. So yeah, and really what she told me and what she taught me, if there's anyone who is wondering or who also is a mess during their intern year, is I feel like I should probably do a separate video showing you how to improve your workflow. I think I'll just explain it now, but then during another video I'll actually show it, like write it down, and or maybe do a day in the life of me actually going through the steps of my workflow. So the first thing that she taught me was to come in. She helped to tighten my focus in terms of what I was looking at and what I was looking for when I come in the morning. I think as a medical student, we all come into the hospital and into medicine thinking that all I need to do is present the patient, and you don't really truly care about what's going on. But she shifted my focus to the patient, which is weird because it's supposed to be patient-centered. The whole time I thought I was thinking about the patient, but not really. The focus is, she told me, come in, get the sign out, hear what you need to hear about your patients overnight, and then you shouldn't spend more than 15 minutes. I shouldn't have been spending more than 15 minutes quickly looking over their chart. The main thing was just to get the vital signs down, make sure that no one is hypotensive with systolic in the 20s. Look at the vital signs, quickly look at them, create my outline of how I want, and the outline of how I was planning to see each patient also changed drastically. Basically have the name, the age, identifier of the patient, age, their room number, why exactly they're here, primary diagnosis in other terms. Then use, you know, the whole fishbone thing. First have my to-do list, or like my boxes, where I would check off whether or not I've done the whether or not I've done the handoff, whether or not I've done the labs, ordered labs and ordered electrolytes and repleted them. Then have subjective section based off of what the patient says. And this subjective should not be the entire review of systems. It should actually just be, is the patient improving, worsening, stable, any new symptoms? That's it. That's really it. That's all they want to hear. That's all that attending wants to hear. Then after that is the exam. Was it unchanged? Is it the same? What was different? Simple. Objectives. What were the vital signs? What are the labs that we actually care about? Any new labs that we put in? What are the results? And then the last thing, when is this patient leaving? What is preventing them from leaving? And what do we have to do today? Simple, 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 simple. And for some reason, it never clicked. The whole time I was thinking, what have I been doing in medical school? What was I doing this whole time? Now I have an idea of like, why is this patient staying here? Is he getting better? Is the treatment helping? If the patient's not getting better, then we need to look deeper and see how we can actually treat this patient. For some reason, it didn't click before, but now it's clicking. I might be stupid. I don't know. You guys might already know that this is how things are supposed to be. But I'm annoyed that no one ever told me. So yeah, since I realized what my flow is and how it works for me, I'm not as anxious anymore, and I feel like I'm able to better understand what's going on and understand and read, and even though what I'm saying, it's like almost 10, I need to go to bed. But I just really just wanted to come on here to talk about how great how great it is to just have a workflow and something that works for you in a system. And if you have a system that doesn't work, just forget about it and do something else. And the importance of consistency, because honestly, and resilience, I think that's where it comes in. I wanted so badly not to come back to work. Especially the first week, I was like, I'm not coming back. I was to call my mommy, please come and pick me up. I'm tired of this. I can't be doing this all my life. I was actually stressed out. I did not want to go to work. But I was like, no, Chisom, you have to come. You have to go. You're gonna show up. Like, you're gonna show up. You're gonna figure it out. And I figured it out. So if there's anyone where someone helped, or ask for help if you need the help. Don't back down. The enemy is the one who's telling you lies. You're not stupid. You're not foolish. You went to medical school. You read the books. And so this is your time to shine and to practice and to put everything in practice. That's really what residency is for. It's for practicing and for learning and for becoming a doctor, an actual doctor who can practice on their own. So I don't think anyone should feel bad. I'm not going to feel bad going forward. And I'm just going to continue to do the best that I can and be consistent, to be honest. So yeah, if there's anyone else who's going through it in residency, who's just trying to, it doesn't even have to be residency. If you're trying to adjust like a new environment, it's just tough, you know? It's always tough starting in a new place, figuring out the system, trying to meet people and, you know, find a niche. It's really tough. And, you know, I hope that if there's any tips that you have for, you know, acclimating and adjusting to a new environment, you know, put it down in the comment section. People are really going through it, man. People are really going through it. It's tough. It's not an easy road to pursue your dreams. And especially when your dreams have bumpy roads, when your dreams feel far away, when you feel like the day-to-day mundane things of what you're doing is unsatisfying. I think it's important to remember what the bigger picture is and remembering what your goal is in particular. I think all of those things are essential for going hard. But yeah, let me know what you think. I know that I said a lot, but really what I wanted to stress was the importance of consistency, resilience, speaking up, and also just putting God first. I've seen a big difference in just putting him first. In his word, he says, Philippians 4:6, that we should not be anxious about anything, that we should put everything in prayer and supplication, so that the peace that surpasses all understanding, literally the peace that surpasses all, like I cannot even explain to you how quickly the anxiety has disappeared from my life. But the peace that surpasses all understanding will guard your heart and your mind. Your heart and your mind. Your brain. If there's two things that are most, in my opinion, that are most important to your living and for us to be able to call you a living person, is the brain and the heart. So if you don't have that, if you don't have it guarded, if you don't have peace there, life is just gonna be a mess. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. All right, toodles. I'm gonna finish my turmeric drink. I'm gonna finish. Ooh, this is good, guys. You should definitely buy it. Like, tell them I put you on. This is good. Okay, I'm gonna get ready for tomorrow. All right, bye, guys. Love you. Guys, so before I go into my sit down video, I'm gonna make a cup of tea. Well, it's not really tea, but anything that I have to mix with milk and hot water is called tea to me. So sometimes before I go to sleep, I try to use this this drink to sleep properly. It's called vegan golden milk. It's funny because when I was younger, my mom used to put turmeric in milk and she would give it to us to drink because turmeric is medicinal. And it has a lot of nice and good properties. Sorry, I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's see here. Jahmu is a unique turmeric ginger spice blend inspired by the anti-inflammatory Indonesian elixir, Jahmu. And the ancient, all right, you know what? I'm not gonna go deep into this. But anyways, let's look it up on Google. Turmeric has a lot of great effects on the human system. And so I'm basically just gonna mix this with milk and hot water and, you know, drink it while I sit down and talk with you all. It has a few other things like powdered coconut milk. So it's a plant-based milk, coconut sugar, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, fennel seed, cloves, nutmeg, black pepper, cayenne pepper, blah, blah, blah. It's really good. And I think you guys would enjoy it too. Unfortunately, it actually did cost a lot of money. You know, in this day and age, things that are actually good for you cost a lot of money or they don't last. So I'm just gonna mix this and we're gonna chat a little bit about residency.